Well, hello my dear friends, it's Josie and thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to speak to you today about anxiety and how to overcome it. You know, anxiety can be a good thing because it keeps you in the present moment awareness, but it also can be a bad thing. It could be unhealthy thing, something that you perhaps are dealing on a daily basis. So I want to give you some tips that you can overcome it, that you can gain control over anxiety. So let's get started. So there's two types of anxiety that I want to address today. So first is the spiritual type of anxiety. And it always comes from this feeling of separateness. And everything I teach is that they're spiritual principles of helping you to understand that you have come from this one source and you will return to that one source. But what happens when you are in the physical body, you get identified with this. And that's why I feel separate, right? I can touch my body, I can feel it. I cannot reach out to you. I must be separate from you. So that feeling of separateness, it causes anxiety naturally. So look at babies. You know, babies came from a source of oneness with their mother. So if you separate a mother from a baby, that anxiety, the crying and everything, this is just a pure evidence that we are naturally longing for that feeling of oneness. So it will happen to you throughout your entire life. You will have to deal with separateness and you have to gain control over it. So let's look at the biological or physiological causes of anxiety, which is produced by that amygdala, that lizard brain that has been developing for thousands and thousands of years. And it's responsible for fear, for anxiety, for revenge, for anger, and for sex, reproduction. So if those things are taken care of, we can survive a species, we can continue. That lizard brain is reacting to life. If somebody punches you, you punch them back. Or if there's a tiger, you run. So those responses are naturally produced by that lizard brain. So how do we overcome anxiety? So first and foremost, by acknowledging it, by becoming aware, by bringing light onto ourselves and becoming consciously aware. So it's like you're watching a movie. Every time you have an anxiety attack, or if you're just feeling anxious, you feel that anxiety rising. So at that moment, observe your body's response to it. It's almost like that is so interesting. You know, why am I doing hands like this? Why my body is getting short of breath? This is interesting. It's like you're watching a movie of your own life, of your own responses to reality, because that way, once you become, once you bring light in the darkness, you start noticing things. You'll start observing things in yourself. Such an interesting response. And you do this without judgment, and you flip the coin. Instead of becoming the anxiety, you become an observer of anxiety in your own body. And the second thing I want to address you actually comes from the departed people, from the spirits that I channel, who I work with. Well, don't take this life too seriously. I know it sounds like, what? How can you not take life seriously? But at the same time, that is where a lot of human problems arise, because we put so much emphasis on unimportant things and we get obsessive over them that we lose a present moment. We lose our connection with our source. So when you understand that life is not a permanent experience, if you haven't really understood that yet, let me be right here in your face and say, your life will end. Your life has a beginning. My life, your life, everyone's life, it has a beginning and it has the end. So if you understand that life is not a permanent experience, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, it's death. Well, death will happen regardless, like whether you like it or not. It will happen to all of us. So that should be removing a lot of the expectation for perfection. It's a lot of expectation for drive unnecessarily, and for you to stop obsessing over things that have little importance and to put your energy in the right vehicle, in the right direction, which is enjoyment. The purpose of life, of that life, it could be 100 years, it could be a lot less than that. But the purpose of this chunk of time that you have on this planet is to grow, to evolve, to share love, to share connection, and remind yourself about this. So when you look back at your life, when you are at the end of your journey and you look back and you realize, and you say, thank God I did not pay attention to that nonsense. Thank God I didn't have to deal with that person ever again. Thank God I was much smarter and much more self-loving to overcome this anxiety and to move my life in the right direction, when I can really serve, when I can breathe fully, when I can become the fuller version of myself. So that's when you change your thinking, everything changes. And anxiety will be a thing of the past. You really have to bring light in it, and you have to set your priorities for this lifetime. Okay everyone, you have my tips on how to overcome anxiety. I hope this video was a service to you. If you like it, put the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Share these messages with your loved ones. You know, I'm always here for you. And it's my joy and my blessing to all of you to help you to set on this path of healing. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye-bye.